Hello again. So, as I've mentioned, I'm a type 1 diabetic, so some of my videos might be about that again, because I didn't mention everything in the first video. Um, when you're a diabetic, it's very important to, check what you eat, check that you, especially if you're type 1, check that you inject. I will be sharing stuff like that. I will also be showing you guys how we replace the Libra on my blood sugar meter, the sensor that's on my arm, just to show how it's done. And I might show you how I inject, and might talk to you about my diet, because a diet is important for everybody, a good healthy diet, but for a diabetic, it's a little bit different, and there are many things to consider when sugar is literally almost like a poison to you in a way. Not quite poison, but yeah, it will kill you if you don't inject your insulin. So yes, I hope you find this interesting. So the insulin pen itself looks very much like a pen, insulin pen. Um, the needle is really it's not your average needle. When people hear needle, they're like, it's going to be massive. It's not that big. The needle is literally that little thing there. It's very, very short, very thin. You don't feel it. It's not something. I know some people are very afraid of needles, but this needle is not. I can't imagine somebody who are scared of, even somebody who's scared of needles, to be extremely terrified of this. I mean, I have to do this 4 times a day. A lot of people only have to do it once or twice, depends on the insulin you use. But I've never had, I mean, it's not a big needle. I just showed you. It's not a big needle. You don't feel anything. If you had your ears pierced, you can do this. So coming to the injection of the insulin, it was really never, as I've said many times before, it's never been an issue for me. But they tell you in the beginning, or they told me in the beginning, that it's best to do it on your stomach or where there's fat, because the fat absorbs the insulin quicker. Now, I've done it on my stomach for quite some time, and then I stopped because I just noticed it works better, or it was easier, more comfortable when I did it in my thigh, on the inside or outside of my thigh. But now, because I changed my needle so much, I do it through my pants, basically. So it's literally just, you check the amount of units that you need, and you literally just inject. And it's just a button at the end that you push. It's really not, it's really not that hectic. But yeah, as I said, it's you turn the dial until the amount of units that you need, and then you inject. You just push at the back. So after having my day at school today, this segment of the video is made on the same day that I made the previous videos where I showed how I inject and everything. My day's finished, and I am going to the gym, because fitness is also very important for a diabetic. I must admit, I have not been as fit as I wanted to be in the last 22, 23 years that I've been a diabetic. But for most of the time, I've been as fit as I can be, because you get busy and you don't get time for exercise. But now I make the time because it is quite important. In the next segment, I will be talking about diet. I'm not sure if it will be on the same day as today, because I'm going to gym now. Don't really know if I want to show you what I look like after I gym. But in the next segment, I will be talking a bit about diet and how we handle it as diabetics. All right, so in this section, I will be talking about diet. Now, as I said in my very first video, it was very different when I was diagnosed, or it feels very different, because it was a lot more difficult to work out a nice diet for yourself when you couldn't eat sugar. But now, sugar is not the only big problem. We always think, or people always think, oh, you're diabetic, you can't eat sugar. But fatty foods and oily foods are actually, in a sense, much worse, I noticed now, since I've been using the Libra sensor. Whereas if you eat something with sugar in, say you have a hypoglycemic attack, which is the low blood sugar episode, and you eat something with sugar in, it will take your sugar up, but it will go down again. So a lot of the time when your sugar goes very low, you have to eat something starchy with it so that your sugar will stay higher, after you've eaten with sugar in. But it is a good way to get your sugar up fast again, is eat something with sugar in or drink something with sugar in. All my friends knew I always had Coke with me. Yeah, Coca-Cola was the one thing that worked very fast for me. I've now cut Coca-Cola out, and I'm now on Super C's, because Super C's is absolutely also fantastic for when my sugar's low. The problem with something that's oily or fatty is, I've noticed now when I look on the sensor, it pushes up your sugar, and it takes a bit longer for it to go up, but then it stays there. And it could stay there for hours if you don't inject, because the fatty foods, especially something like slop chips, fries, slop chips, we call that slop chips in South Africa, it is also starch because it's potato, and it was cooked in oil, and it's fatty, and anything that's fatty or creamy as well, something that's full cream. That's why a lot of the yogurts I eat is low fat. Milk is low fat or fat-free milk. Anything fatty or creamy, it keeps your sugar up there, and it keeps your sugar high for quite long. Whereas something with just sugar in, like Super C's or sweets, it will push it up, but it will go down again. Not fast, but faster than when you eat something fatty or oily. So I've tried to completely cut out stuff like that. All takeaways. If I eat chips, or slop chips, I inject more because I know it's going to cause a problem. Any starchy thing that's fatty, or that's creamy, or that's oily, I try to avoid. Stuff with white meal in, like white bread. Rice is not that bad, but rice is also, I avoid rice unless it's brown rice. And then regarding bread, because I do like my sandwich now and then, I do whole grain bread, and it's low GI bread. So on the glycemic index that you will see, if you Google it, you'll see there's a whole list of stuff that's on the low index, the intermediate index, and the high index of the glycemic index, about what is good for a diabetic or for somebody who can't eat fatty foods or sugary foods. And you must always try and stay on the low glycemic side, because of the fact that you can't really eat sugar, or it has a negative effect. Sugar or fats, it has a negative effect on your blood sugar. So it has been 14 days since the last time I put one of the Libra sensors on for testing my sugar. Now the sensors, I'm going to show you how we put it together, and then Stephen's going to help me put it on, because he normally puts it on for me. It goes on the back of your arm, as I've shown you, my very, very white arm. But yeah, it comes with a part that has the needle in, where you have the thing that you press in. I'll just show you, it's easier. And then the needle is at the bottom, and I'll show you. It just gets pushed in. It's very easy. You don't even feel the needle. So this is where the needle is in. And then this needs to go in here. And then when we take it out, Stephen can put it on for me. This is the needle. Okay, so this is Stephen.
Hello.
He helps me with this because I don't want to do it myself, but I would probably be able to.
Cool.
So over there.
Right about there.
Uh-huh.
Happiness.
Yeah. There we go. Good. And there it is. And then Stephen puts a plaster on for me, like I showed you guys on my very white arms. Okay, so after we've put the Libra sensor on, I need to scan it with my phone. But now I just want to show how at the moment the app shows signal loss because the previous sensor came off. Well, we took it off. So for now it says signal loss, but I will show you now how I scan it and then what it shows. Okay, so we're gonna scan the sensor now. It should show me, do you want to end the sensor? Because technically my previous sensor only ends in 22 minutes. So it will probably ask me, do you want to end the sensor? Yes. So new sensor found. I don't know if you guys can see. Starting a new sensor will end the sensor that you're currently using. Yes, I want to start a new one. And now I'm going to scan again. And then it's going to take an hour. I didn't do it right. There we go. The sensor has been started up. And it shows me an hour from now that the sensor is going to show me what my sugar is. It's pretty cool. And that is the end of my second video about diabetes. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next one.